I don't know why. Does it?
You were asking me.
Well, you asked me. I'm trying to throw it back in your court. I thought maybe because the raindrops simulate bread hitting the water. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know who's winning. I don't know any of it.
Brett does.
I don't know how you win.
I
mean, do you just go claim a spot and say, this is my spot, now you got to go somewhere, and it's the first one to that spot?
Well, I'll give a good rundown. Brett Pritchard has been out there. He's out there this morning. He's been texting me, and I hit him up this morning, and he's been following the leader a good bit. And I don't know, maybe you've paid somewhat some attention. I have over the years. I don't know how to fish, but I have been around a lot of fishermen with our outdoors program and Brett, and they talk about fishermen picking patterns, and it either works or it doesn't. And a lot of it goes to water being pulled down the river and a lot of things you and I don't know. Well, Brett happens to be following the leader the last 2 days, and he's found a good spot, and he's been going to that spot first thing in the morning, culling out, which means he catches 6 or 7 fish that he's putting in the live well in the first 30 minutes to an hour, Luke, and he heads off. And he said, Brett said, it's wonderful. You know, he's not sitting there. He's not over catching the hole. And,
do they get the monitors where you get like the radar?
Oh, yeah. This, GPS just take you right back to the same hole. You know, and
well,
that's
no,
where
I'm saying, but do you get the radar where you see where the fish are?
I'm sure, but I don't know how much that helps.
Yeah, well, if the radar says there ain't no fish here, it would help. If the radar says here's a boatload of fish, throw your hook in and hope for the best. What I get, and look, God bless, everybody has their own hobbies and their own things, and I do things that are silly and that I enjoy. You're the same way every day. But like when you said that, like Brett's following the fishermen.
A lot of people are out there doing
and I know, but I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, so a guy goes out to fish, and when I think fishing, you know, I'm like casting and like relaxing, and I know this isn't what they're doing.
Yes.
They're a lot better, and they're great at this. But like, so they're just watching him do that, and they can't possibly get close enough to disturb the fish, so I don't even know what you're watching for.
These guys that do it a lot, it's their hobby, it's their passion, it's like hunting.
It's their job.
But I'm talking about the ones that are watching.
Oh, yeah, but I'm saying, like, if you're 80 yards away, how do you even know, like, oh, he put on a double-sided
He can tell.
Orange lure?
They can tell. I guess they can tell by the action of the rod, what they're doing with it. Brett knew exactly which ones he was throwing yesterday, the 4 or 5.
Did you go with him or just?
Hit. No, I'm talking to him, and he's filling me in.
Here's the other thing. Brett could be lying to you because we wouldn't know. It's like when George Costanza said that about car mechanics. He said, you go in and they say, oh, you need a new Johnson rod. Oh, my God, my Johnson rod's broken. And George Costanza's like, well, just however much it is, fix it. He could tell you that he had a double trifecta wiggly worm used on that, and it caught a triple striped bass. And you'd go, man, I'd never thought a double-sided wiggly worm would catch one of those. You wouldn't know?
No, we wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if it was a top water or a bottom water or whatever it would be. No, I wouldn't. But I can tell by the way he's talking that he's all into this. And Luke, good for the community because I don't think he's the only one.
There's no question.
I've asked. The weather has been, the Alexander City Chamber of Commerce has been actively, they're at the lead of this. The city's involved as well, but the Chamber of Commerce over the year with the Bass Federation and all that they're doing have really gone after this tournament and other tournaments and brought it here. Luke, they could not have gotten to better days than they got.
There's no question.
To beautiful days. I would send Brett a text and say if there's any way that the lake during the month of February at the beginning wanted to show out, it's these two. You get yesterday, you got 65-degree weather out there midday, Luke. It's beautiful. Fishing's been pretty good. The one worry that you have around Lake Martin is it's not Guntersville. You're not going to get these huge 20-plus pound bags, but the first couple of days you've had fishermen catch between 17 and 20 pounds. Bags, that's mean average.
I mean, for one fish or you get a whole bag of fish? They
call
that a bag?
Do you know how this works?
No, I have no idea how any of this works.
Okay, well, let me give you you get 5 fish limit. You can catch 50 fish for those 5. Your 5 largest fish are your bag.
Do you have to? All right. So when you catch,
so when they say cull, you know what the word cull is.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
Now, but my point is this: when you pick a fish, Okay, well, let's say you reel one in,
Yeah.
and you're like, this one's 4 pounds. Do you put that one in your well, or do you have to say, I think I can catch something bigger, and you chunk it back?
Not if you think I can catch something bigger.
But once it's in your well, that's going in your bag?
No, it can come out of the well if you catch something larger. So
That's what I was saying.
Let me go back to the story of the fisherman that Brett's following that is in the lead. He's culling, which means he's catching 6, 7, 8 fish to see if he can get one larger than the 5 that he has. All right, well, he's going to keep going out the rest of the day, Luke. He's got 5 in the live well, maybe 15 pounds. He wants to go out and find 2 or 3 larger than the ones that he's currently got to take it up to that 20.
So you can come back, empty the well, and then go back out and get some more?
I'm not even going to try this. This is like you and
Look,
I.
the closest I've come to fishing is last night I went to Publix. I walked right by the frozen fish section, right by the Gortons, the sticks, and I walked right by them and kept going.
Luke, tell your one fish catching story. I think you've written about this.
Which one? The one when I caught
the
catfish in the eye?
When you were young.
Well, I just, I mean, there are a few of them, but I think you're talking about.
This one's down at your parents' house.
And it was raining and
Yeah.
whatever. And again, when it's raining, I've always heard, at least, especially catfish. I don't know why, but I threw my pole out, and I was so excited. The pole was going bananas. I reel it in, and I had caught a catfish right in the eye. And I said, that's how bad I am at this. Even the catfish was like, come on, man. I mean, he didn't want what I was. He just happened to swim by and randomly get hooked right in the peeper my hook.
Let's see if we can give some people out there a semblance of us actually knowing what we're talking about by giving the top 10. Now, what they do on day 3, Luke, is they cut this down to 50. So they take it from 110 to 50 today.
Okay.
50 out there. Tomorrow they'll take it down to the top 12 that are fishing for. Takahiro Omori is who Brett's been following. He was at 18 or 19 pounds day 1. He had 15 yesterday. He's got 32.11 in the 2 days. To give you a little, he's 4 pounds up. Second's Roy Hawk's got 28.12. Luke Clausen's third at 28 pounds. Jesse Wiggins is fourth at 27. Jared Littner, 26.13's in 5th. Adrian Avina is 26.5 in 6th. Andy Montgomery, 26.5. Dean Rojas, Justin Lucas, and Skylar Hamilton round out the top 10. Cliff Prince, just to tell you how tough some days can be, he led after day 1 with almost 20 pounds. He only catches 4 yesterday. So he's sitting at 14.
We're all going for the same fish.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, you can't bring in 2 crappies of catfish and a squealer and a sunfish, right?
You're amazing.
But I'm just saying, I don't know.
This is. Have you watched the Jeopardy show?
About the football?
About the football.
Yeah, that was great.
There has to be, because of all times for us to be on a Saturday morning talk show talking about fishing, and people are actually coming to this community, probably lots of them, to go down there and see the weigh-in, and you sound like the ones that are playing Jeopardy that make no sense, that the rest of the world that love football are going, there can be nobody that knows this.
I know, however little you think I know, it's less than that.
Well, y'all go on down today. Wind Creek State Park is where they'll have the weigh-in. I think the first flight comes in about 2:30. That's what it's been being. I would suggest or expect that would be the same today down at Wind Creek. It's the first time that Lake Martin has hosted an Elite Series event or anything of its kind over the last 15 to 16 years. The early 2000s was the last time that Lake Martin had anything like this, and I don't think that it was anywhere near this level. ESPN will be live today with this tournament. They'll show it throughout. They edit it, and they'll show it throughout the season as well.
And one thing Ed Caleri said, I don't mean to interrupt you, one thing Ed Caleri said about that with the Chamber of Commerce is, I did get this part. It's cool that Alex City gets the first tournament. Is it a tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, or the first event. And because that's the one that'll be replayed the most. If if you do the last one, you get replayed the least.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're the first one, you get replayed the most. And so, I mean, it's just nothing but more exposure for our area. And again, just because I don't know anything about it doesn't mean it's not great. I mean, it's obviously a big deal. So I'm not a good fisherman.
It's like you and I sitting up here, and we're not hunters.
Oh,
But
no.
We know for a fact, living in this area, we're in the minority.
Yeah.
We're way in the minority that don't enjoy that or don't enjoy some type of hunting and fishing, and so we get it. And we're proud that Lake Martin, we're proud a lot of people that probably haven't been here. Some of these top fishermen in the world probably haven't been here in 15 years or whenever the last event. Some have that live around here, but others don't. So we're glad to have you here in the Lake Martin region. We hope that many of you go out there and support that today. We'll go ahead and take our first break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. When we get back, we'll move on to something that Luke does know. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. At Main Street Family Urgent Care, we want you to know one of the benefits of our clinic. We have a self-pay option that allows you to get the most out of your visit. That means you don't have to worry about receiving a large bill after your visit. $125 covers all in-house labs, stitches, x-rays, or injections, and we have a selection of antibiotics available in the clinic. We want you to feel better fast at Main Street Family Urgent Care, open 7 days a week in Alexander City across the street from Walmart. Heal better, feel better fast.
So Dave here is taking the family up to the lake for the weekend, but without the white knuckles this time. Because his new 2018 Ford F-150 has Blitz with trailer coverage. It's Brainiac smart. Not only does it watch your F-150's blind spots, it's got your trailer covered too. One less thing to spoil the weekend. No, it can't make the fish bite, but maybe they'll work on that. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized E-Z-GO cart dealer that has no limits on a perfect E-Z-GO cart. Whether it's a fully customized cart or a stock-made cart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online for the best E-Z-GO carts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
Luke, any buy-in from you or any worry from you as you look at the recruiting rankings with Alabama and Georgia? At least that's been part of the talk this year. That's where it's gotten over the last decade. If Alabama finishes 6th, Everybody goes, well, what happened? What in the world happened? We're used to Alabama at least being 1 or 2 here in recruitings, and Georgia just put one of the best classes, if not the best class that we've seen since maybe that 2008, 2009 Alabama class, which was exceptional. Just your thoughts, though, about this recruiting class for Alabama and where it sits.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Georgia. They did a marvelous job. What a combination of events to help them with this. Number one, they are, in recruiting, the hottest team going, and I think that helps you in recruiting. That's what's been so incredible about Saban's long streak of number 1 classes, is because there's always a hot team. You know, there's always a Clemson or an Ohio State or a Florida or an LSU or a Texas or somebody who gets into the mix. And this year it was Georgia. And Georgia, they had a great year in state, but he got a lot of 5 stars from out of state. It also was a perfect storm in the sense of, for instance, their lineman that they got out of Tennessee, that was a Tennessee legacy. His dad played there. He's committed to Tennessee, Tennessee Vol for life, all that stuff. Well, Tennessee fires their coach, and they can't hire anybody. And the program's in flux, and he looks around and says, man, I don't know that I want to come here without knowing who the next coach is. I mean, I need to explore my options. Kudos to him for having the maturity to do that. And he goes to Georgia. It works out great for them. And I think that's a tribute to Kirby, too, for not stopping recruiting. Here's the thing. Here's the catch. Okay? This class is awesome. I think it's going to be fantastic for Georgia. Here's the next move. It's not just bringing these guys in here. It's not just developing them. That's where some people probably think I'm going with this. It's managing those egos. Because now you got 7, 8, 5 stars on your team in one class. And the rest of them are 4 stars for the most part. And they all think they're number 1. They all think they're the best. You've got to get them to buy into you're part of a team now. You might get 1 catch. You might get 0 catches. You might get 3 minutes on the field. You might play 30 minutes. You might play no minutes. But you got to buy in. And that's where Nick Saban is the Jedi. He has it where Mac Wilson, I mean, if you follow him on Twitter, he's a great follower. He bided his time, and he knows now, like, I'm going to be the man next year. Reuben Foster, same thing. Reuben Foster came in, and he was the 5-star, but he didn't get on the field a lot. And until he made that hit on, Leonard Fournette, on the kickoff in that overtime game in 2014, he was kind of considered, wow, why isn't he out there? And he nailed Fournette on that kickoff return. And since then, he got better and better. That hit gave him confidence. And then by the time he left, he was the best linebacker in the country. So, but the thing is, if he had gone somewhere else, if he had gone to Auburn, he probably would have been pushed out there immediately, played immediately, and it might have affected his whole career. I'm not saying that as a shot at Auburn. I'm saying that some guys need that time to develop, but you have to convince them they need it to develop.
You would have to spin this, though, as competitive as I would guess and know and have seen Nick Saban to be. He can't be happy with it.
No, I'm not going to spin that. They were totally, I feel, they were totally convinced Bobby Brown was coming to Alabama. Now, there was always a worry because there are some factions in his camp that wanted him closer to home. But they had been assured that morning, this is from multiple sources, multiple reports, by Bobby Brown that he was coming to Alabama that morning of signing day. He just signed 5 minutes later with Texas A&M. It happens. People flip. Alabama was the victim. Alabama's been the recipient of the T.J. Yeldons, of Cyrus Quandros. It happens. I believe Alabama thought they were getting Justin Ross. I 100% believe that. And he just decided at the last minute, I'm going to go to Clemson. Now, Clemson had recruited him harder, longer, but he decided to leave the state. That's fine. I feel 100% certain Alabama thought they were getting him. I believe Alabama thought they were going to get Jacob Copeland. I believe that. I'm not 100% on that one. But Copeland had always sort of been gravitating towards Florida for a while, but I think had he come to Alabama, I believe that he probably would have moved to safety. If going to Florida, he's going to be a wide receiver, and that may have been the difference for him. So there are 3 guys that I'm laying out there right now that Alabama thought, we got a good shot. And if you get those 3 guys, you finish number 2 probably. Instead, you finish number 6 but you only signed, I think, 18 or 19, maybe 19. So you're going to have some scholarships later. It also means you don't have to cull or figure out a way to get Jedi Master some people out of the program, because you might have some more scholarships available. You're able to give a scholarship to Michael Parker, who played in the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, who you thought maybe blue shirting, gray shirting, whatever he's going to shirt, but now you can give him a scholarship. He can come play right away. So I'm not trying to spin it positively, but there are some positive things that happen, not necessarily to Nick Saban, but for members of the class and members of the football team. There is no doubt in my mind, Nick Saban also looked around and said, I've lost my offensive coordinator, lost my defensive coordinator, now I've lost my defensive line coach. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get younger, hungry guys who they care about getting the horses. I'll figure out how to develop them. You bring them in here, and we'll deal with it. I will go out on record and say I think Alabama finishes with the number 1 class next year, because they went and hired Penn State's best recruiter. They've got a great recruiter from Texas Tech. Why else would you hire a defensive back coach from Texas Tech unless you thought he could recruit? They give up 1,700 yards per game.
Especially an area that it may be a need. Recruiting that area, Texas, getting someone from Penn State that maybe understands that region. How important do you think that is, getting someone from a different area code than where you're sitting?
Well, I think it's very important. I think we've also seen that Texas is still putting out talent like they always have, but Pennsylvania is putting out some talent too, and Alabama wants to get a foothold back in there. Jeff Banks, who is the wide receivers coach, he came from Penn State, and he was instrumental in helping getting Jalen Waddle, who I think will be a star. Jalen Waddle has a lot of wiggle. I don't know how else to say it. He looks good to me as a wide receiver. I think he's going to be fantastic. So, look, it's not the end of the world, and it is the number 6 class, but there is a gap between Alabama's class and Georgia's class. That is undeniable.
Recruiting in the state of Alabama next year, better than we saw this year?
I think it will be. You got your Clay Webbs and your Bo Nix and your Talia Tagovailoas. I think it's going to be better. This year, there were some good players. As evidenced by the fact that Alabama and Auburn only signed, 6 or 7 of the top 25 players, it tells me that the state had some nice players, but Alabama and Auburn were also kind of spreading out a little bit more. Now, Justin Ross could have gone to Alabama or Auburn had he wanted to. I think Andres Fox could have gone my understanding is he came down to Alabama and Stanford. He chooses Stanford. Jack West, same deal. Stanford, Alabama, he chooses Stanford. I can't blame a kid for that. Like the kid out in California, Brevin White. He was going to Princeton, and then Alabama calls him in the last second and says, look, we need a quarterback. We'd like a quarterback. We'd like you to be it. He's a 4-star guy on the Rivals 2, or the top 247, right? And he's a 4-star going to Princeton. Comes from a pretty affluent family out in California, always wanted to go to Princeton. He comes to Alabama, and Alabama gave him a lot to think about. But in the end, he said, I don't know that I want to play football, and I know that if I go to Princeton, the connections I make will be invaluable. And if I go to Princeton, I'm set. If I can graduate from Princeton, I have no problem. If I graduate from Alabama, it's a good school. Alabama's improved academically a lot, but it's not the same, and I'll always be a football player. Go to Princeton, I'm something else, playing football. And I can't blame him for that. More power to you.
We'll continue to talk about this and a lot more. We'll go ahead and take our second break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. We come back, stick with recruiting, talk a little bit about Auburn, get Luke's thoughts there. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Ask what makes it the best 3 Series ever, and we'll tell you it has more advanced suspension and steering for even more control of the road. And it's near perfectly balanced to put performance first. But ask if we're aware the competition mimics us just to keep up? No comment. The BMW 3 Series.
Visit BMW of Columbus on Whittlesey Boulevard or shop BMWofColumbus.com.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937. 866-837-6937. Or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
There's no clean like Peaches and Clean.
TPE Power Equipment is now the trusted name for all your mower and power equipment needs. Whether it's our original Tallahassee location or Opelika location on Fredericks Road, we've got East Alabama covered with the best brands of mowers and power equipment from Husqvarna, Toro, Kawasaki, Echo, and Honda. Right now, get commercial strength Husqvarna zero-turn mowers with our fleet program that offers deep discounts, easy finance, and bonus handheld equipment in one solid package. TPE of Opelika and Tallahassee are the new standard of everything power equipment in East Alabama.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Farnell Mechanical gives you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable.
Trust Farnell Mechanical to provide perfect air for your family.
What perfect feels like. Lennox.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime at the all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Every new and pre-owned vehicle, just $1 down. Plus credit amnesty. Bring home $350 a week, get up to $30,000 in credit.
It's a crime to pay more than a dime.
10 acres, 1,000 vehicles, just $1 down.
Folks, you've just got to see this place.
The all-new Opelika Ford and Opelika Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Call 800-NEXT-RIDE.
Drivers, start your engine!
Green, green, green. Here we go. Time for racing. Go. Sunshine and a hot, slick track. Wow, that kid's having a blast. Go long. Keep digging. Great job. What a perfect day for racing. That's what I'm talking about, boys.
The Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 will ignite all your senses, starting at just $44, and kids' tickets are just $10 at LanaMotorspeedway.com.
Man, that's Atlanta.
Welcome back into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. 256-234-6221 if you'd like to join us this morning. As I look behind Luke's head, behind him back there, we've got the AHSA Radio Network on the road here in the next couple of weeks, Luke, for basketball. And we've been talking a little basketball earlier this morning, but high school basketball coming to an end, high school wrestling coming to an end. Sectionals are actually this weekend for wrestling, so we'll have state championships coming up here in the next few weeks there. And basketball last week of this month.
Yeah, and did you hear about Midfield?
I did. What happened there?
Midfield played an extra regular season game, which is against the rule. They played one more than you're allowed to play, so they have to forfeit their sub-regional game, so they're out. I mean, look, I understand, and like with the AHSA, they don't get the opportunity to. You can't even have a hint of showing favoritism.
That's right.
I totally understand.
There can't be any gray area.
There's no gray area, and they're in a box with that. I mean, and if you ever give a little gray area, you'll never stop.
That's
I mean,
right.
Give an inch, take a mile kind of thing. But man, do I hate that. I mean, Midfield is the defending 3A state champ. They've got a good young player who's a sophomore whose name escapes me right now, but if you remember last year, he drops bombs all over the BJCC.
Cam's his first name.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of his last.
I'll get it in a minute.
Yeah, he's been playing since he was in 7th or 8th grade.
Oh, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, he'll be a prospect because he's so talented, but size-wise, you wish there was a little more there. But and also, they have the best dressed coaching staff. This is unequivocal. There it is. When they walk out, you get fired up. You're like, I don't know who they coach. I don't care what they coach. I'm pulling for them. It is awesome. Like they might have all yellow suits with black shirts. You don't know.
I think this is 3 or 4 teams now, McAdory being one also, that you only have 20 regular season games plus the tournaments is how I think it's worded. And if you go above that allotment of regular season games, you have clearly, had a rules violation and can't play in the playoffs. And I think we've got 3 or 4 and some really good teams, mainly Midfield being the top team there, that won't be. And this is the time of year, not only in basketball, but in football and in other sports, where if you have teams around you that know you and keep up with you closely, and they're very competitive with you,
they're going to point a finger if they think they're getting an advantage.
If it helps them, then they're going to point a finger if they feel like they have that another team is taking a rule into the gray area that's helped them a little bit.
And we always tread lightly with some of these things because we're the HSA Radio Network. But I do have a question. Are the schedules approved by the HSA, or do you just make your own schedule and it is what it is, and then if somebody points something out, you're in trouble? But the reason I ask, I think there should be a some kind of checking system where somebody can say, hey, look, you only play 20 games, you got 21 on here. What are you going to do? I mean, one of them can be exhibition or whatever.
Here's what happens in baseball that I know of and basketball that I'm sure of. You will schedule a set of games. Some could be more. I'm not saying that they scheduled more than that, knowing that you're going to have rainouts, knowing you're going to have – this year's been a crazy year because you've had so much terrible weather.
Yeah.
So
you've
lost like half weeks where some teams may have had 2 games. Well, the question is, how many of them do you reschedule? How many of them do you end up playing? And maybe that's where this issue is. Maybe part of it is around the tournament question, because you see these teams playing holiday tournaments all over the country now. We've got some of our Huffmans of the world, Mountain Brooks. Those 2 teams weren't they in major national tournaments to go along the Steel City?
And see, I think some of those are exempt.
I think they are. I think all of the tournament games.
Because first of all, you don't know how many games necessarily you're going to be playing.
That's right. So I'm with you. I don't know. It's a very good question, and one that I'm sure will be answered with a team like this that's won 3 or 4 state championships out of the
from
last
the Birmingham
10 years.
area
Yeah.
that would bring a crowd in. This will be something that they'll need to address. Not saying that if it were somebody from way down in South Alabama that it wouldn't be important. It would be just as important, but I think this one gets more attention because it is midfield. It'd be like saying Hoover can't play in the 7A championship game or 7A playoffs in football. I mean, I think people would say, okay, we got to fix whatever that is because we need Hoover in there.
Yeah.
It's a shame, and I hate it for midfield, and I hate it for their kids because you don't get this back.
Let's stay with Birmingham, and I know that your wife is heavily involved in some of these things that are going on. Talk about new facilities. Talk about the new mayor. I'm just following from the outside looking in. There seems to be a refound passion for sports in that region, bringing events to the region, spending the money to make sure that the infrastructure is up to par with the competition level that's out there. Birmingham Legion got a new team that's coming. I saw a packed house of supporters that were out to support that. If anybody thinks that you say soccer, what soccer? Can they have support? Look at Atlanta. It's unbelievable what kind of support Atlanta has given to their soccer team, and I know that Birmingham will hopefully support this one as much. But Luke, can you give a little bit more insight on what's going on there?
Well, I can tell you, Mayor Woodfin, love him, leave him, whatever. I think he has re-energized the city. He's a little younger. He has shown a propensity to listen to everybody. And I think one thing that's been out there now, and I don't know how much his involvement has been with this, but I know that they are talking about doing something a little smaller for UAB now. Instead of this huge, grandiose dome where they're going to try and bring in all these other things, there's talk of just a little smaller stadium for UAB. And, I mean, you know me, 8 years ago, I was kind of like, UAB, take it or leave it, whatever, in terms of football. I'm for them. I really am. I'm pro UAB because I see now the effect it has on kids being able to get scholarships. And so I would love it if they had something they could play in that's a little more intimate. a 40,000 seat stadium, a 35,000. That's fine. That's plenty. It may not even sell out then. It probably won't, but it won't look like, this gigantic platter with one baby carrot on it. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot more interesting, a lot more fun. But there's also, I know one thing my wife Chris is involved with is a marathon that's coming there, and it's going to be the first marathon in Birmingham where there's no looping. Okay, so lots of times in Birmingham when you've had a marathon in the past, you go by the same structure a few times because to get your miles in. Well, this one's all fresh scenery. And that apparently in the marathon world is a big deal. I know as much about marathons as I know about fishing.
Yes.
But that apparently is a big deal. Like you don't get any repetitive action. So I know everybody's looking forward to that. And yeah, I think there is a newfound renaissance look. Avery Johnson's been bringing Alabama to play there, a pretty strong non-conference game. They played Oregon, Clemson, and Texas there in the last few years. I know Auburn has played in Birmingham. They played Middle Tennessee State this year, which, you'd like somebody a little bit more upscale, but I think Auburn will eventually get somebody more upscale for that. They still have their rivalry with UAB in basketball. So yeah, there are a lot of positive things going on in Birmingham, and that's great for our area too. It's only an hour away. It's not a big deal, so get up there.
Absolutely, as Justin lets us know, he's heading over. Justin's a passionate soccer fan. He's heading to Nashville for a preseason soccer game for Atlanta United today, and Birmingham Legion, we saw the logo that came out with that. I thought that was really cool.
That was cool.
It's going to be something that the soccer fan out there will have an opportunity here in this state to get out and support. We'll go ahead and take another break here on the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown. When we come back, we will talk about Auburn recruiting when we come back. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems for $0 down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote in terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for $0 down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
With the boat season winding down and the weather getting cooler, it's time to let Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road and winterize your boat and get ready for the off-season. The good guys can make all your off-season repairs, winterization, and upgrades easy and on budget. Remember, now's the best time for used boat prices and selection, and you can even pre-order next year's Landau pontoons and quality Suzuki outboards to get the perfect fit for next spring. Service, sales, and value all this off-season at the place the locals know, Alex City Marine. And don't forget to order your 2018 Manitou pontoons now.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Gotta get to Gills. Selection and price. Gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
Bills Electric is your local expert for LED lighting retrofits for commercial and industrial applications. Bills Electric can survey your facility and develop lighting retrofit solutions utilizing the latest in LED technology and controls. In many cases, energy savings alone can generate a payback of 2 years or less. Additionally, LED lighting has an expected lifespan of up to 100,000 hours. Call the Lamborns today at 256-234-4555.
New year, new you. It's the Start Something New sales event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
It's cold outside,
but the deals are hot inside.
Save up to $13,000 on remaining 2017 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramie 4x4.
If you ain't happy,
ain't nobody happy.
2018 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Package, only $19,700.
On the web at BiceChryslerDodge.com.
At A&M Plumbing, you can count on us for dependable, quality service. Our staff is professional, neat, clean, and courteous. We're a fully licensed and insured plumbing company. Call on A&M Plumbing for any plumbing, sewer, or septic problems. We provide a comprehensive line of plumbing repair and installation services to keep your home's plumbing systems in top order. When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing. Service at its best, when you need it most.
This segment of Sports Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Alabama finishes 6th, 5th, somewhere in there. There's a number of different recruiting outlets now. Auburn somewhere between 12, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. I'm actually pulling up 24/7 where Auburn finished 12th overall, a 3rd ranking in the SEC. And Luke, not many times over the last decade that we've seen you be able to finish 12th in the SEC and that be 3rd in the conference.
Well, that's what we said all along. We've always joked, you finish 12th in the country, you could be 6th in the SEC.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. But just like I said, there's a gap between Georgia and Alabama. I think there's a pretty big gap between Auburn and Alabama, and I think the gap between Auburn and Georgia is even bigger. Now, again, in the end, it's going to be managing those egos for Georgia. Because they signed this class doesn't mean they're guaranteed a national championship. Let's go ahead and write that down. But I am a big proponent in recruiting rankings. I think it is not an exact science. What is an exact science? You know, in anything like this, you can have your predictions. You can say returning seniors doesn't equal automatic wins. Returning experience, head coach who's won a championship before. None of those things mean you're going to win it. You've got to have the whole set of ingredients and then bake the cake at the proper temperature to get something that's going to taste good. And I think that, we'll see. Georgia has done the first part very well. Alabama's already got it pretty well set up. I think Auburn's okay. I think this class is good. I think it's a good class. I think some Auburn fans were disappointed in signing day because they virtually got nobody. I mean, they got a 3-star defensive lineman that they all knew they were going to get, but there was no Justin Ross, where there was a buzz in the morning. I've heard some things about Justin Ross. I don't think Justin Ross was headed there. I know this because I feel very strongly the Alabama coaching staff felt he was headed there, and so then for him to go to Clemson tells me he couldn't let go of that Clemson relationship he had the whole time. But if Auburn, let's say, had gotten Matthew Hill, had gotten Joey Gatewood and Asa Martin to not sign early but to sign late, Auburn fans would be celebrating because they probably would have moved up from 20 to 12. Instead, as everybody else did better, like your Florida States and your Notre Dames, and Auburn kept getting bumped back without doing anything. It wasn't Auburn's fault that they were moving backwards necessarily. They were just moving backwards in the rankings because other teams were finally getting – Auburn already had 24 commitments or whatever it was, and some of these other teams only had 18, and when they got some more, their numbers improved. Like USC, they cleaned up on signing day. They had a really good day. They only signed 16, 17 guys, but they had a very good day. A lot of them were 5-stars.
When you look through these top kids that Auburn's got coming in, 7 of them are already enrolled. And 2 of those names that you just said, with a Joey Gatewood and an Asa Martin, already enrolled, Luke. I'll run down the rest of them that are already currently enrolled there at Auburn. And that's a big thing, and I want to get your thoughts on there. But Joey Gatewood, Smoke Monday's already enrolled, Asa Martin, Jamian Sherwood, Christian Tuitt, Daquan Newkirk, Shedrick Jackson, and Josh Marsh already on campus. How much more of that do you think that we're going to see, especially Asa Martin types with IMG academies popping up, getting larger, getting the kids in there and getting them prepared to come out whenever they're done with their football season, their high school year? That's a different part of this game that I think we're going to see more of in the years to come.
Yeah, it's been trending that way for a while. I feel like this is a good move for a lot of guys, like for Asa Martin, for instance, and for Joey Gatewood. Because now we've learned Auburn's starting quarterback Jarrett Stidham has going through shoulder surgery. They've already pushed A-Day back a little bit. I don't know if that's necessarily to give him a couple more days to try and get in there. But if I'm Joey Gatewood, I'd look at this as a golden opportunity. Let me get in there and let me go ahead and go through some practices and get ready for spring ball and see what I can do. At least get on the field some way, somehow. He doesn't necessarily have to play quarterback. Maybe he can come in as a wildcat kind of guy. Who knows? But same thing with Asa Martin, Shedrick Jackson. If you know where you're going, and if you play for Hoover, if you're Jackson, you've already won state championship after state championship. Why not move on to the next level? I'm saying let them do that. Let as many people can enroll early. Go ahead and do it. I don't think you're not missing anything but prom, and you can still go to it. All somebody's got to do is invite you.
I said this on one of our other programs. The thing about this, unless you're a multi-sport star, say you're a football and basketball or a football and baseball guy, and your team, you've been with that group of guys your whole life, and you want to play for a state championship or another one with them. That would be the only reason outside of you needing to get your grades to get in. But a lot of these kids with dual enrollment the way that it is now, if you're a smart kid, you've got the opportunities to go ahead and get college credits. You're probably already doing that. If you're a good enough athlete to put the work ethic towards doing that, you're probably the same in the classroom if you're smart enough to get into some of these schools. And that's the reason you see 7, 8 guys out of 23, 24 guys for Auburn already enrolled. So a third are already enrolled, and I expect to see more and more of that coming in the years to come because there's just going to be programs like Alabama, programs like Auburn and Georgia that would love to have those kids in for an additional 6 months. It's invaluable. Get them through a spring training. Doesn't mean that you expect them to play, but if you're in Alabama, and I'll throw Alabama out there with Nick Saban, he'll play a true freshman in a heartbeat.
You saw it in his championship
game. He sells it all the time, and he does the best job of not, putting some kind of little asterisk out there to say, yes, I'll play him, but it's only on these set downs. That's one thing as an Auburn fan that drives me crazy watching us. If I see a true freshman come in there like Devin Barrett, I can almost tell you which play's coming.
Yeah.
It's almost like I don't want you to know the whole playbook. I'm just going to kind of groom you.
You got these three.
Yeah. Alabama's not that way.
Yeah.
I mean, C.J. Mosley may be calling the defense as
right.
a true freshman, which he was. That's one thing I'm very impressed with. Do you not think that a willingness like Nick Saban wouldn't like to have 6 more months to have him prepared if he knows he sees a guy like that?
Yeah, there's no question. I also think the coaching staff at Alabama, and again, this is just my theory, that they were a little caught off guard about how, for the first time and maybe forever, how this early signing period thing was going to go and how it was going to be. Because Alabama has had an opportunity in the past. All right, you missed Justin Ross late. Well, we'll call this guy who had loved us, but now that guy's already signed with Mississippi State or Ole Miss or LSU or whomever, and Alabama can't necessarily go back in on him. Now, he may have signed with Miami of Ohio, and that's where I think it can hurt. The new signing period can hurt kids too. Because there's no doubt, if you can sign with Toledo or sign with Alabama or Auburn, I'll use them for example, you need to go sign with Auburn. It's probably better. You're going to have more exposure. You're going to be on TV more. You're going to have better facilities. Now, you may go to Toledo and set some records, and the NFL will always find you, and all those things are true. But there's some other things you can do at Auburn that you can't do at Toledo. I mean, you'll play on Tuesday nights in Toledo. At Auburn, you're going to play on Saturday nights. It's apples and oranges for the most part. Even if Auburn goes 7-6, you're still the talk of the town because you're still on the tip of everybody's tongue. And in Toledo, I mean, can we name 3 people that have played in Toledo in the last 10 years? Yeah. Now, we're from Alabama, but I'm not sure somebody from Toledo can do that. And I'm pulling Toledo out of there. If you're from Toledo, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of Toledo. Just saying I think that's where it can hurt a player is if they feel like my only option is Toledo, and then they blow up. Malik Langham's a good example where if he had signed earlier, it may have been with a lesser program. It may have been. And instead he waits, and all of a sudden Alabama, Auburn, Florida, everybody's really hot and heavy after him. And he ends up signing with Florida. I mean, more power to him. That's another guy Alabama and Auburn missed on. When we come back, we'll talk about some of these rankings. Also talk about Georgia's already got 3 of the top 10 next year.
Wow. And I'd also like to get your take on your favorite recruit of each of these classes for Auburn and Alabama, and the one that you think has the potential to jump up in an early and quick and make an immediate impact for both of these teams. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank, banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
At Chicken Salad Chick, we understand the holidays can get hectic. That's why we've got your holiday party needs wrapped up with a pretty bow on top. From takeout to full service, we cater to any crowd this holiday season. Grab your favorite quick chicks or side items to go, or please your guests with a chicken salad sandwich platter, pimento cheese jingle ball, or pumpkin cheesecake. We believe you should focus on making the memories while you let Chicken Salad Chick make the food. Now go enjoy it. Chicken Salad Chick, born in Alabama and serving the best chicken salad around.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
What's different about Hyundai of Auburn? Beautiful cars built here from parts made here. That's jobs and tax money.
And right now, Max, record low finance plans. 0% interest and $42.50 cash to spend with no budget busting repairs for a full 10 years. Drive a new Hyundai today. Check it out, HyundaiofAuburn.com.
And my Max Markdown deals. Tell them Max sent you. I might get a bonus.
Max, you're not real.
What?
Luke, favorite couple of recruits from this Alabama class this year. Art, spin it this way. Which ones do you think this year you see a freshman group have 5 or 6 on the field in a national championship environment that you really didn't expect? And they're making big plays like Najee Harris and Tua and the rest of the crew. Alabama this year got some of those type of guys.
Oh, there's no question. Yaba Anoma, who just tore it up in the Under Armour game, he is quick as a hiccup, and he has a great first step. He hadn't been playing football his whole life, and so he's got a lot to learn. He's sort of unmolded clay, but it's not regular unmolded clay. It's like really good unmolded clay. And so I feel like he will definitely be on the field. Patrick Surtain Jr., who that was Alabama's big get on signing day, he will play. Alabama's secondary needs are going to be so great. There is no doubt in my mind he will be on the field day one. I'll tell you somebody else, and that's Josh Jobe out of Miami originally, played in Connecticut last year, went to sort of like not an IMG, but that same kind of school. Josh Jobe looked good in the Under Armour game, and then Jalen Waddle, who I've already talked about, wide receiver. I love him because everybody, look, the big receivers are cool. Everybody loves a Julio Jones, and they're easy. I mean, you throw it up and go get it. But there's something in everybody's heart that loves a quick, elusive, scatty, Javier Arenas, David Palmer-ish, Tyrone Prothrowy wide receiver. Now, Waddle may be a little bigger than some of those guys. He may not be as muscular as like a Prothrow or even a Javi, but he has got he's just elusive. He's quick. I wouldn't be surprised. My friend Jimmy Stein said this on our podcast the other day. He thinks Jalen Waddle will be the first player to touch the ball for Alabama next year because he'll be on the kickoff return. So, and they said he's returning kicks. I mean, that's what we believe, and punts. So we finally have a guy, that's been a problem for Alabama is punt returns. Got some guys that are athletic that when they have the ball in their hands is great. Got to get the ball in their hands because they got to catch it. And punt return catching has not been our forte.
Surtain, you think, will make the biggest immediate impact?
I'm going to say Anoma is going to make the biggest immediate impact. I mean, just because the way Alabama's defense is set up. But Surtain, he's good, man, and he's got the heritage. His dad played football for a long time in the NFL, and it was funny because Jarvis Landry, who's a wide receiver for the Dolphins now, he played for LSU. Surtain apparently was leaning to LSU for a long time, and I'm pretty sure he committed silently to Alabama several weeks ago, maybe even a month ago. But there was going to be signing day drama. And, well, when he signed with Alabama, Jarvis Landry tweeted out, hey, you don't have a seat at my table anymore, which implies that that they had gotten to be friends and whatever, because I think Surtain his dad actually played for the Dolphins. I think he did. And Daddy Surtain said, hey, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
It's when you can say what you want to, don't talk about my son.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool because I don't like NFL alums. I don't mind them recruiting. If Cam Newton wants to, say, hey, go to Auburn. But if they don't go to Auburn, or if they don't go to Alabama, if they don't go to LSU, man, don't say anything. Let them go where they want to go.
If you were an Auburn fan, who would you be most excited about in this class? I'll throw one out there, because I have a feeling that you will say this, is Cornice Miller out of Jackson-Olin.
Yeah, he is a guy that Alabama wanted. I don't think there's any doubt. He's very quick. He has played some Wildcat. He's big. He's strong. Got a nose for the ball. I like him a lot, and I think that he will be able to play early. And I think even with, Auburn's got a good defensive line rotation next year, I still think he'll get in there. Seth Williams, that's a guy that I really like. And I think now, I don't know this for a fact, but I had this thought the other day that now that Alabama missed on Jacob Copeland, and I said he might play safety, he may have played receiver, but they missed on Copeland and they missed on Ross. I wonder if they think, man, we could have pursued Seth Williams a little more. Because he was not a priority for Alabama. And I liked him a lot. I know he's athletic. I've seen him play basketball.
He looks the part.
Yeah, he looks the part. And I think he's tough and he's strong. But there must have been something that either the Alabama staff just liked other guys better or whatever, because he was right there. And I feel 99% sure he grew up an Alabama fan. So I think it would have worked out for Alabama had they pursued him more. But I would have pursued him. I liked him. I liked him a lot. I liked his film, and I think he's going to do some big things at Auburn. And I'm just flipping through their list.
Another player that I don't know if you have seen, and I'm sure you've been around him just because of the people that you're around and where he is, but Harold Joyner. Thoughts? People in Birmingham, what are their thoughts around Harold Joyner? As an Auburn fan, I'm sitting here and I'm watching what Bo Scarborough and other just big backs like Derrick Henry have been able to do. Lacey, Eddie Lacy at Alabama, just bigger backs. And Auburn really hasn't put anybody like that on the field. And I'm wondering if Harold Joyner can be one of those.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'3", 218.
Saw him with a picture beside Gus Malzahn, who is, by the way, about your height.
Yeah, Gus Malzahn's a big dude.
He's a big, and Harold Joyner was as big as him.
Yeah.
It would be like him standing beside you, and I go, my gosh, is he as tall as Luke? So he's that big.
Yeah, and I think he's a good player, and I think he's the kind of guy you want him off the bus first. And if when you see him, you say, all right, I want him on my team, and I'll figure it out. But I don't think he was even the leading rusher on Mountain Brook's team, which is, that raises a bit of a red flag. I followed him each week because I thought he was the most intriguing prospect of the state this year.
Yeah.
Because of his body type and what he is, but there was never any eye-popping moments or stats that really just drew you into him. But I think he's the kind of guy that you take a shot on, and there's no doubt too, and I don't mean this as a shot at Joyner, but he was down Auburn's board. And Auburn missed on some other folks, and that's why Auburn got in on him late. I don't think there's any doubt that's how that played out. But now it may work out. Sometimes you get on to somebody late and it works out. I think he looks like Tarzan. I don't know how he plays. That's what I'm saying. Where do you put him? I think when I see him, I think linebacker. That's what I think. But maybe he's never played linebacker before. You know, I think
it sounds a lot like what we were saying about Bo Scarborough.
It does. And I was worried about, and you know, Bo Scarborough, for all his accolades about the way he played against Washington last year and the way he was playing against Clemson until he got hurt, and I do believe if he hadn't gotten hurt against Clemson, Alabama wins it. But he did get hurt. It's part of the game. But you know, Bo never lived up to his hype. I don't think that that's insulting him.
No.
The way Bo was regarded, Chris Childers for SiriusXM said he thought Bo Scarborough was going to win the Heisman at the beginning of the year. And I thought, man, you know he's not going to get enough carries for that, and you also know he's going to get hurt or something's going to happen because it always does. And so that's Bo Scarborough. I think he may go to the NFL, and I think he could have a good career, very good career. I feel like Harold Joyner could go to Auburn and have a very good career, but I can't say for certain. I feel like I'd put money on Connis Miller is going to be good. Okay, I don't. You know, I'm not going to predict All-American, whatever. I think he's going to play. He's going to play a lot, and I think he's going to play early. Harold Joyner, I think it's kind of a guessing game right now.
I mean, it's a good point, but he's also one that sits on that page that you go, maybe.
Let me tell you,
you know what I mean?
If you stacked up, if everybody just stood there and you said, which one do you want? I'll say, I'm drafting Harold.
I'll take him.
I'll take Harold. Yeah, you get who you want.
Yeah.
But so that's where I'm saying he's the kind of guy you take a chance. It's not like you're taking a chance on some lineman nobody's ever heard of.
No.
You know, you're from North Sand Mountain. You're taking Harold Joyner, who's played 7A ball against the Hoovers, against the Thompsons, and he is built like a brick house. And, yeah, I'll take a chance on him.
Let's go ahead and take another break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. When we come back, we'll move into basketball, talk about games today, talk about 6-7 games left on both the Auburn and Alabama schedule as we head into the SEC tournament. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At U.S. AmeriBank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. AmeriBank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. AmeriBank difference. U.S. AmeriBank. Banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Centricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
A1 Four Seasons, a division of Jackson Refrigeration, is Central Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With the summer months approaching, the temperatures are rising, and so will your power bill if you don't have one of the latest 410A heat pumps. With R22 Freon prices on the rise, now is the time to make the switch to a new, more efficient unit that will save you hundreds of dollars on your yearly power bill. Call A1 Four Seasons at 256-234-4457. What's behind the CA?
A world full of opportunities.
Where are you now? Where are you going?
Where do you want to be?
These are all important in determining your path in life.
More importantly, why be ordinary
when you can be extraordinary?
At Central Alabama Community College, you can be anything you wish to be.
Don't put your future on hold and don't settle for less than excellence.
We are Central Alabama Community College.
Central to you.
Central to your success.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
Luke, let's close out recruiting with just some winners and losers out there, not only in the SEC, but nationally. Our good friend Justin Clayton passed along a question. Do you think that LSU's a little upset with their finish?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Missing out on Surtain hurt them tremendously. I mean, it hurt their egos as much as anything. And if you read message boards, and I know that fans can be, have these visceral reactions, right off the top. But they were thinking, now it's gone from, instead of being mad anymore, they're like, well, let's just face it, we're a second-rate program right now. And I'm not saying LSU is a second-rate. They still have a lot of talent. But if I look at LSU and I say, do I think they're going to Auburn and winning next year? Nope. Do I think they're beating Alabama in Baton Rouge? I bet you Alabama's a double-digit favorite. They lost their offensive coordinator. They just signed their defensive coordinator to $2.5 million, and that's great. Dave Arenda's pretty good. I like him a lot. But he's the highest paid coordinator by far in the country now, and it seems like another Seinfeld reference. Remember when George Costanza's, he said, you're not making enough money to his secretary. You said, you should ask for a raise. Well, she went and asked for a raise, and now she's making more than Costanza? That's what Aranda feels like with Orgeron. Like the secretary is more important than the boss. And so it just feels like things are in disarray over there. God bless Orgeron. I think Orgeron, I think his heart's in the right place. We can make fun of him and, tell him about it, JoJo and all that stuff. I think he loves football, and so I appreciate that. He brings a color to the game. But it's such a business now. You need a guy with a business-like mind, and I don't know necessarily that that's what they have.
Let's talk business. 3 of the largest coaching hires that we had this past season. You get your first glimpse into what they're going to do at their new programs. I want to get your thoughts on all 3. Let's start. Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M.
I think they'll be pretty good. They got a big steal in Bobby Brown from Alabama. There's no doubt about it. And he played the game well. So I think that Texas A&M needed this because they had become Alabama's whipping boy. They're Auburn's whipping boy when they play in College Station.
14 out of 15 recruits, the top recruits in the state of Texas, went to Texas.
And the only one that got out was Jalen Waddle, who I was talking about. So I think that's big for them. I don't think there's any doubt. It's also time, can we say now, they need to start playing each other once again. Play at the beginning of the year. You don't have to play at the end, play at the beginning.
Don't understand why not. Jeremy Pruitt, Tennessee.
I heard somebody talking yesterday about how, maybe it was you guys on Auburn Blitz, about that they were so impressed with the signing class, and it was one of the highest class. They finished it was 20th or 22nd. 22nd in the country. They finished 8th in the SEC. They got J.J. Peterson, who's one of the top linebackers in the country, who was going wherever Jeremy Pruitt went. Okay? But that's about, I didn't see a lot of anybody else that really just blew me off the page on that. In that signing class. I don't know that Tennessee's going to get a lot better. And I look at, when Tennessee, their number one rival is Alabama, right? And they finished, again, top 6, top 5. Georgia, their number one rival in the East, they finished number 1. Florida finishes number 4 in the conference. And then they play South Carolina every year, and South Carolina finished ahead of them. So I don't know necessarily that this Tennessee class was gangbusters.
Do you get a feel from Jeremy Pruitt? I'll tell you this. I've never listened to him. I've never watched him. Never watched the way he handles himself. I did watch his press conference, though, talking about this class. I like him. I didn't know that I would like him. I didn't know that if he would be an Eddie O up there talking behind the mic. He's not. He's well-groomed, and I can see why people would want to go play for him.
Oh, there's no doubt. J.J. Peterson just absolutely adored him. And I think we like him especially because we know about his tie-ins with the high schools around here and his history. And he is – and I'll tell you something else. I mean, I applaud him as an Alabama fan, and I applaud Kirby Smart too in the sense that they coached Alabama to national championships right as they were walking out the door. They obviously put in the time, and they made it happen. And they did it the right way. Now, there were some things Kirby maybe did right after that weren't so great, but it's a cutthroat business, and I think Jeremy Pruitt has handled it as well as anybody could. I love him as a guy, and I think that he's going to be a pretty good coach. The problem is you're in an era when Alabama's doing its thing, and now Georgia's gone bananas, Auburn's still Auburn, and Florida's about to get better. Tennessee's just not in a great position.
Last question. We'll take another break. Dan Mullen at Florida.
I think he did pretty well. Getting Malik Langham from the state of Alabama I thought was a huge coup for them. They stole a couple other commits, and they moved up to 4th in the SEC. Now, next year, I wouldn't be surprised if they were in that 3rd slot.
Good point. That's going to be a battle for Auburn, and it'll be a battle for Tennessee because I do think Tennessee, with Jeremy Pruitt there, stands a chance to start getting into that top 5 in the conference.
And I think Auburn hosts Tennessee next year, don't they?
They do, yeah.
And so that'll be an interesting game.
Just to see what type of player or what type of program that Jeremy Pruitt's going to have in year 1 will tell you a lot about that program.
Well, and here's something else that I found amusing is Alvin Kamara wins NFL Rookie of the Year, and all you need to know about Butch Jones is he didn't give him the ball every time he could possibly give it to him. That's all you need to know. I mean, at Alabama, you don't get the ball somebody didn't get the ball all the time because there are a lot of guys that spread. Tennessee had one guy. Give it to Alvin Kamara, and good things happen, and they just wouldn't do it. And now Alvin Kamara had an attitude thing at Alabama, and he needed to move on. But ever since then, I think he's been pretty much a model citizen. I think he's been a really good guy, and kudos for him for getting that second chance. But Tennessee just didn't give him the ball enough, which tells me Butch Jones had to go. If you got Alvin Kamara and you don't use him enough, that's on you.
That's a problem. We'll go ahead and take another break here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. We will talk about basketball when we come back.
Now is the best time to see the good guys the locals know, Alex City Marine. With last year being our best year yet, Landau Pontoons has increased Alex City Marine's allocation of Landaus for the 17 season. Our Suzuki outboard selections are at an all-time high. Alex City Marine is now also Lake Martin's exclusive Manitou pontoon dealer with a full line of the luxurious Manitou Tri-Tune with patented V-Tune technology for top performance. Get the best selection now of Landau and Manitou pontoons. Alex City Marine, Lake Martin.
Whether it's a dream house or corporate real estate, Concrete has the skill, expertise, and talent to exceed your expectations. Trust Concrete to build a foundation for your future. Our work ethic and dedication are always in keeping the competition on their toes. We specialize in residential and commercial development in the Coosa, Talladega, and Shelby County areas. Call us today for your next project, 256-245-4211, or check us out on the web at con-crete.com.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
New year, new you.
It's the Start Something New sales event going on now at Bice Motors in Alex City.
It's cold outside,
but the deals are hot inside.
Save up to $13,000 on remaining 2017 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramie 4x4.
If you ain't happy,
ain't nobody happy.
2018 Jeep Cherokee Latitude Package, only $19,700.
On the web at BiceChryslerDodge.com.
Tough loss for Auburn on Wednesday night against Texas A&M, 81-80. Trailed 46-36 at halftime. Bryce Brown goes out with a shoulder injury, doesn't come back for the second half, actually on the bench throughout that second half, and Auburn storms back, has a chance to win it there at the end. There were some glaring deficiencies for this Auburn team, especially with the matchup against Texas A&M that a lot of times we talk about these things as talking heads up here broadcasting, and we bring them up and we talk the same news that we hear from others, and Texas A&M's length inside is going to cause problems for Auburn. And sometimes that works out that way, and others, a lot of times it never does. It worked out that way Wednesday night.
Yeah, that Robert Williams,
very good.
He's a man. He's going to be a heck of an NBA player. And today they play Yateen Maiden. That's going to be an interesting matchup for Auburn. Georgia did have a 14, 15-point lead at Auburn in the first half when they played in Auburn, and then Georgia went to a shell, and Auburn was
unbelievable in second half. Yes,
it's crazy. So, but they had Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown may not be there today. I don't know. This is a big game for Georgia too. If Georgia wants to have any hope of making the NCAA tournament, I think they have to win this game. But I was looking at Auburn's schedule today. A couple of thoughts about that. Auburn's been great. I mean, and I've been singing their praises for some time now. But they have been the beneficiary of this particular year. You don't play everybody twice in the SEC. Auburn only plays Tennessee once. They only play Kentucky once. They only play A&M once. They only play Florida once. I mean, those are, besides Auburn, those are probably the four best teams in the league. And so to only play them each once is big. But now they've only played A&M and Tennessee. They still have Kentucky and Florida to go.
Probably the best win on the docket, that win at Tennessee.
There's no question about that. And so they should be able to capitalize on that, because they do go to Georgia, and Georgia is floundering somewhat. I mean, they're not. Georgia's just not very good right now. They look like a team that's in disarray. I thought they were going to get it back together, and they haven't been able to do it. And Auburn will have to go to who they play.
Hey,
at home.
I'll run down the schedule right here. It's at Georgia, Kentucky at home, on the road at South Carolina, got Alabama at home, on the road at Florida, on the road at Arkansas, and close out the SEC play with South Carolina at home. So I brought this up yesterday on the Auburn Blitz, and I'll bring it up to you. The thing about this stretch for Auburn, there's no top-tier national program sitting in here. There's only one team in the top 30 of the RPI, and that's Kentucky, that's sitting at 15. But all of these teams have a chance to be in the NCAA tournament. It's a scary run.
And Justin had a comment, "Oh no, Luke, the SEC is best it's been since I can remember." I don't know if it's best it's been since I can remember, but it's definitely better.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's weird, because it's just like in football sometimes. Is the league better because everybody can beat everybody, or is it better when you have two really kick butt teams? Auburn's been the best team in the league. There's no, I mean, the records proved it. The way they've played has proven it. But it looks like some teams like A&M's finally getting healthy, getting their act together. Alabama can be Jekyll and Hyde, but they can beat just about anybody. Florida's about to turn it on. I'm just telling you, they're going to get it together. So there's some teams that are now catching up. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this thing finishes up, but I don't think this league's going to get 8 or 9 teams in there.
I'll give you my answer to that, though, is on a national basis, I don't think anyone's very, very good. I think there's some good.
I totally agree.
I think there's some good teams, but there's not a great team out there. If you watch Duke and North Carolina the other night, you watch these games and you go, yeah, we can play with them. And I think there's a lot of SEC schools, including Alabama, that's sitting there as maybe an 8 or 9 seed at this point. It could go up, it could go down. But I watch Alabama play, and I've watched them play a lot this year. I watched Duke and North Carolina the other night. I don't there's no part of me that watches that game and goes, Alabama at their best cannot beat those two.
Well, and I totally agree with you. Now, if Duke plays their best, I think.
But they don't a lot.
But that's you're right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And meanwhile, though, same could be said Alabama does.
True.
So, and that is the one thing I would say. I would take it a step further and say maybe with the exception of Villanova. And Villanova just lost at home to St. John's. Maybe with the exception of Auburn has been the most consistent team all year. And they've been consistently good. Now, they do things like get behind by 14 to bad teams.
Yeah.
Or not bad teams, mediocre teams. Teams that shouldn't get behind by 14 to. But they always have come back. Even against Texas A&M, they made a comeback. It just didn't work out. I think Auburn's – I would probably say Villanova's 1A and Auburn's 1B in terms of consistency throughout the year. I guess the thing to watch now will be was there a ceiling for Auburn that was there a wall Auburn hit, or will they continue to be this way? Because if they continue, now that we're in the home stretch, you got teams like South Carolina. They've got to turn it up a notch, and they need to. They got to beat Auburn at home. They got to if they want to have a shot. Georgia, they got to beat Auburn at home. Are they going to respond, or is Auburn going to keep doing their thing? So that's where, before the A&M game, I looked at Auburn's schedule and I was like, there is no way anybody's catching them. And then after the A&M game, just it's so funny how things turn on a dime. I was like, okay, I can see Auburn losing at South Carolina, at Florida. I can see them losing to Kentucky at home because we don't know what Kentucky.
I can see us losing to Alabama at home. I can.
I'm going to tell you right now, and I know people are going to think this is some reverse jinx junk from an Alabama fan. I don't think there's any way Alabama wins that game at Auburn. And it's just, I know it's got a 2013 football feel to it. Oh, they're going to be geeked to high heaven. That place will be totally sold out. There'll be the ODK trophy deal. There's no way Auburn's losing that game. I don't mean that as anything other than a compliment to Auburn. But I do think Auburn can lose at Florida. I don't care what crowd shows up for Kentucky. If Kentucky plays well, they'll beat you. But if Kentucky is still floundering around a little bit, look, man, here's the thing for Kentucky. Are they a lock? They play A&M tonight. They're an underdog. Then they go to Auburn. I'd be willing to bet they're going to be an underdog. If Bryce Brown's back, they're 100% going to be an underdog. And then they welcome Alabama. I mean, Alabama's done well. Alabama does better on the road in tough environments than they do at Mississippi State last Tuesday night. There were 17 people there, and Alabama played like junk. But if when they play at Florida, I mean, it wasn't capacity crowd, but it was it's still the O'Connell Center, and it's a nasty place to play. Alabama ripped them up.
Certain matchups don't fit these two teams. And I think that when you look at Auburn and you guess, have we seen a ceiling? It's as an Auburn fan, you have to sit there and go, gosh, what if? What if Austin Wiley in the post? What if you have a post player that can at least show some kind of, and I'm not taking away from Horace Spencer and I'm not taking away from McLemore, but it's the size.
Would you be better than 21-3?
No, I don't think we would, but I do think that certain matchups may not kill us. That matchup the other night killed us. Okay. We had a chance, but I think that there are other matchups that show their face. Like if Auburn were to hit Texas in the NCAA tournament after what I saw them do to Alabama in the post, could you imagine right now? Doesn't mean they can't get over it, but I would like my chances better with a true post player defensively against some of those.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this worked out pretty well for Auburn because, you can say, well, Austin Wiley's the best player. I do think he's Auburn's best pro prospect. For college basketball, I don't know that Mustafa Heron and Bryce Brown aren't better. But because of what Auburn wants to do as well. And it has forced Auburn to play this style of offense and defense. And, I mean, I think Austin Wiley's great. He's going to be a good pro. There's no doubt about it. But I really do believe if Daniel Purifoy's there, he takes minutes away from somebody.
I agree with that.
Daniel Purifoy would not have been better than Heron or Bryce Brown. Bryce Brown's probably SEC Player of the Year. I love him. I think he's great. He's got that is one thing when I watch Alabama play versus watching Auburn play. I think Herb Jones can shoot a three. I know John Petty can shoot a three, but it ain't. I mean, it's unorthodox, right? I mean, he elevates, but it's got a funky feel to it. Man, Bryce Brown's got the prettiest shot in college basketball. There's no doubt. And when it splashes, man, it hits the net. It's like everything. It's like an NBA Jams game. I mean, it just splashes right in the net. When I see John Petty take one, it seems to go in and rattle around and then drop, which is, they still count.
You'll still take it.
But I'm just saying, if Austin Wiley and Daniel Purifoy were at Auburn, I don't think that Auburn – in fact, I'd be willing to bet Auburn's record would be worse. I'm not saying they'd be necessarily a bad team. I'm saying they're probably 18-7. I mean, I 100% believe that.
We'll go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll continue basketball talk, and we're going to bounce around a little bit and get some ideas around the national scene from Luke. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown right after this.
The door's open, the beer's cold, and the biscuits are hot at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. Fishing season is in year-round and live bait is available. Non-ethanol gas is available along with propane and pellet ice. So come on by and see what we're all about, where the kitchen is open Monday through Friday early at Foshee Sportz on Dable Road in Alexander City. And tell them old Katie sent you right here from the front porch, WAXC TV.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Oh, let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a Trusted Choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
LMG Advertising Agency offers a comprehensive marketing solution tailored to each of our clients' needs. We are a full-service marketing firm offering website design and development, video production, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and overall branding that includes logo design, brochures, mailouts, and more. Our experienced team of marketing professionals would love to come up with a marketing strategy that will deliver results for you and your business. Learn more at lmgadagency.com or call today to start at 256-825-0197.
Whether it's a walk-off home run, a game-winning touchdown, or a buzzer beater, make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup. Located in downtown Sylacauga and a short drive from Highway 280, Jay's has the food you're looking for. Whether it's wings, fingers, burgers, or salads, they have it all. Come bring your family for a great meal, come hang out with your friends for the big game, or call them at 256-207-0700 to place your order. Make sure Jay's Sports Grill is in your lineup.
Lex Wedgeworth has been the most trusted pest control company for a generation, and now we're proud to announce our new name, EnviroCare. You can expect the same high standards for all your pest control needs, and EnviroCare's exclusive Centricon termite colony elimination system that provides the industry standard to protect your home or business. The EnviroCare Centricon termite protection protects your home year-round. Call the professionals of EnviroCare throughout Central East Alabama. Call for a free estimate. Nobody cares like EnviroCare, the next generation of full pest control for your home or business.
We've been talking a little bit about Alabama-Mississippi All-Star Game and some of the guys that have moved on and playing, and this Haas kid from Purdue. What are they currently ranked, Luke? Top three?
Yeah, they're top three. They lost to Ohio State the other night. You know, it's funny. Auburn lost at home. Ohio State lost at home. Villanova lost at home. A lot of the top teams lost at home the other night to teams you might not have thought they'd lost to. Now, Auburn's was totally understandable, but and Ohio State's been better this year. They may win the Big Ten, but the way Purdue's playing, nobody wants any part of them because they can beat you from three. they can give it to Haas, and I just looked it up. He's 6'7", he's 7'2", 290.
And give a little bit of his background from the state.
Well, he's the son of Joe King, who played football at Alabama, who was a monster, sort of one of those legendary guys. He was so big. He never really panned out necessarily at Alabama.
What position did he play?
Was offensive line.
Was he? Okay.
And he was just a massive human being. And my understanding is Isaac and his father, they didn't have maybe necessarily the best relationship. And when we got to call him in Mississippi for the All-Star game, I got to stand next to him, and I still have a picture on my phone. And I'm 6'5", and it's one of the biggest people I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've gone to a lot of basketball games, seen a lot of basketball games. I mean, I was just marveling. This kid was 18 years old, and I felt dwarfed. But I asked him about recruiting at the time. He wasn't committed anywhere, and he really just wanted to get out of state. I don't think he was ever going to Alabama. It didn't matter who the coach was. I don't think he was ever going to Auburn. You know, I heard some people say, well, if Bruce Pearl had been here, I don't think he would have gone to Auburn. I think he wanted out. And, you know, it worked out for him to go to Purdue. He goes and plays for Matt Painter up there. He has gotten so much better. His development, if I'm Matt Painter, like, that's my recruiting tool from now on. I say, you look at what Isaac Haas was and what he is. And for him to stay 4 years, too, because usually if you're 7'2", 290, and you can chew gum and walk at the same time, you're going to go pro. But I love the fact that he stayed in college. Purdue's like my team this year. I enjoy watching them because they hadn't had a lot of guys go pro. They stick together. I love watching. And, Auburn played them last year, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
And Purdue took them to the woodshed.
It's because of that same thing we talked about with A&M. I mean, you are really giving up a size discrepancy here is drastic. And with Austin Wiley not playing and with Isaac Haas, kind of funny that you've got two in-state Alabama high school kids that could be two of the top post players drafted next year in the NBA draft. Not too often we get that in the state of Alabama, do we?
No, and, Purdue's never been to a Final Four. Did you know that?
That's odd. It's crazy.
It seemed, but you think of a Glenn Robinson. They've had some good teams, but they've never been to a Final Four. So they're one of those teams that like a Missouri. Missouri's got a good basketball history. They've never been to a Final Four. So I think this will be the year, though. Well, I don't care what bracket they're in, who's the number one, yada yada yada. I'm picking Purdue to go to the Final Four.
Other teams, and we'll close out college basketball that. You're expecting to make a jump here over the last 6 or 7 regular season games because everybody seems to be mixed and mingled in the middle, and St. John's is beating, top-tier teams on the road, and for the whole month of January they didn't win a basketball game, I don't think. It's an odd year.
It is, and Villanova lost the other night to St. John's. I didn't know this until yesterday because you can't keep up with, unless you are paid to follow college basketball. It's hard to keep up with it all. It's tough enough to keep it up with just the SEC. But Villanova actually had a couple of starters out for that game, so it makes a little more sense. But St. John's had just come off beating Duke in Madison Square Garden, and then they go to Villanova and win. I don't care how many starters they were missing. This St. John's team had lost, 11 or 12 in a row, and then they beat Duke, and then they beat Villanova. So I think that's interesting. So Villanova's going to be right there. If Duke can ever get it together, I don't know what their problem is, but I watched Grayson Allen specifically the other night. He is a lost puppy.
He can't find his way in this offense.
They can't. They don't. He is the kind of guy. He's got to shoot his way into the feel of the game, and if he's not getting his shots, I think he sort of mentally checks out. And that's not a selfish thing to me. That's just the way some basketball players are. They need the ball in their hand, not to be the star necessarily, but to get the feel for the game. And once they do that, the defense picks up, and then they're more unselfish. But if you alienate them for whatever reason, and Duke has so many great players that it's tough to get your shots.
I saw that feel with him the other night. A lot of the game they tried to play him at the point. Just to keep the basketball in his hand, let him do the divvying, let him try to find his way, set some plays for him to get some shots off of screens, and he just never got going, Luke. And he's a senior. And the senior, and I heard Jay Williams the other night really trying to punch some life into that team as an ex-Dookie. And he said that when you got a Grayson Allen that as a sophomore is one of the top players, and even here as a senior is being up for a Naismith Award, and he's not the leading shooter on the team. he's not taking the most shots on the team, that's a problem because it is his last go-around, and you feel like that it's his team, and can he find a way to, push them forward?
And I'll tell you something else. This is, I like the Blue Bloods. I love Duke, Kentucky for a national championship. I don't want Butler, St. Mary's for a national championship. I just don't. I want the Blue Bloods. I think that's what college basketball, college football, college sports is all about. But Grayson Allen is up for the Wooden Award because he plays for Duke, and that's it. What I saw the other night is not one of the best players in the country. Why Bryce Brown is better than he is, and they pretty much play the same position. Better than he is this year. Now, maybe at the next level, Grayson Allen will be better. Who knows? This year, Bryce Brown's better than Grayson Allen, and the reason Grayson Allen is getting the Wooden Award recognition is because he plays for Duke. I will 100% admit that.
And is that good or is that bad? Just kind of is what it is.
Look, I just look at it like it tells me everybody's being a little lazy with that because Grayson Allen just didn't want it. I don't think he's one of the top 4. I'm not sure he should be starting for Duke. Not only that, he's been such a little jerk in terms of, the tripping and the pushing and the whining, and he still hasn't gotten over. He's done some of it this year. So why reward that behavior when if he's averaging 42 points a game, you got to, he's still averaging 42 points. What is he averaging? 12?
Michael and I talked about this on Auburn Blitz yesterday, and Duke has the Christian Laettners and the J.J. Reddicks of the world that you point and you say that, and Michael said, well, what do you think about Allen? I said, well, I like J.J. Redick. I like Christian Laettner because it really doesn't matter what their antics are. When you go out there, he's the best player. J.J. Redick is the best player out here today. Yeah. He may not be the best pro in the years to come, but today here, please give him the ball. Christian Laettner, no doubt, best player. Shaq may be on the other team. Give me Laettner here in this college environment. I'd rather have him.
I agree.
And I don't ever get that feeling with Grayson Allen.
I don't either. Grayson Allen feels like the guy to me that he always goes. He's the best player at the local YMCA, but then every now and again you get somebody who just doesn't care so much. He's like, I'm going to body you up. I'm going to give you a bow. I'm going to sort of give you a nudge. I'm going to take you out of your game. And when that happens, he just loses it. And that he's out of the game. He's mentally out of it. And so, look, Coach K. This is what bothers me about Coach K. Everybody loves Coach K, and he's this bastion of class and whatever. But when you kind of let Grayson Allen get away with that stuff for so long, it kind of makes me think you're not much better than everybody else. I mean, we can, Nick Saban has let some things slide. Gus Malzahn's let some things slide. Everybody's let some things slide, and we knock them a little bit, but then we're like, okay, we kind of get it. You're in a very competitive environment. Coach K should get knocked a little more for things like Grayson Allen to me.
Good point. Go ahead and take another break. We'll come back. Got a couple of more segments here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Hi, this is Quinn Harrelson with Interlink Mortgage in Auburn, Alabama. There are 1,000 different questions people ask me every day about mortgage loans. They ask about buying investment homes, primary homes, and even second homes at the lake or the beach. I only have a limited time to say, call me and let's talk about what you want and how I can help you get it. Again, win with Quinn and call me today at 256-675-6259 so I can help structure a mortgage that best fits you and your family's needs.
Game day. Last season you were watching football at the mercy of that loathed cable company and your weird roommate with the ornery chinchilla. But today you're going to watch wherever the Wild you want. You go here, Wild Wind Cafe. They've got all the games on more screens than you can count, and cute roommates. This is just the wild you need. So go wild, superfan. We can't help your choking QB, but we do have cold beer.
Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gills. Selection and price, got to get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills. Cars that fit your budget. Service that no one around can beat. Stop by today and test drive the vehicle of your dreams. Gotta get to Gills Auto Sales. We can finance you. Gotta get to Gills. Selection and price. Gotta get to Gills. Gotta get to Gills.
East Central Alabama asked for it, and Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoors has answered with the region's full-service Mahindra tractor and UTV dealer on Highway 280 in Alex City, next to Tallapoosa Ford. Full lines of Mahindra tractor, E-Max, Max 1500 series to 5500 series. We have the world's #1 tractor line. Get the job done as well with full lines of the world's toughest UTVs and accessories. Visit the all-new Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor in Alex City. True grit never taps out with Mahindra tractors, UTVs, and accessories.
What do you see when you think about your future?
Do you see determination that keeps you going, that helps you make a difference in your world?
Do you see challenges that make you stronger?
Southern Union State Community College realizes that your opportunities for greatness are unlimited. Your journey has just begun.
You watching any of the Olympics?
I did watch the opening ceremony. I watched some of it. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I watched the whole thing, but I thought it was, in the end, I kind of thought, man, they should save some of this money. I mean, there's some people watching this going, we could really use some of that. I mean, you don't have to have that many fireworks and all those drones. I'm sure Intel paid for all the drones. You see that? Yeah. That was pretty cool. I'm kind of just all the pomp and circumstance of it. Let's light the torch and let's get on with it. I'm nervous. I don't know if anybody else is. I'm nervous how cooperative North Korea has been with this thing. Are you at all? Do you feel like it's a little weird that North Korea and well, first of all, North Korea and South Korea, there's hockey teams are going to be as one, right?
Yeah.
And a North Korean and a South Korean ran up with the torch, and I'm thinking this is great. I mean that's awesome, but why? I think everybody's kind of looking at it there's something.
What's about to happen?
There's an ulterior motive here because their leadership has been sort of that way. There's always something. There's something on the back end that we don't know about yet, and it just makes me a little nervous. I don't know about you.
I think many out there are, and if you saw the random guy that he was part of the show that was going on. He wasn't part of it, but he ended up in two different things, and finally they had an organizer get out there and get him off of the field.
That's what everybody was talking about then.
Yeah.
Okay, but when I was flying home, and I was listening to Sirius radio about it, and they said, all right, something happened at the opening Olympics. We can't tell you what it is by contract, but you'll want to watch tonight. I guess that was it. Somebody snuck in.
Yeah, and he was just down there as part of the performance.
That's amazing.
You kept looking around, and you go, and this was the same guy twice, two separate times.
See, first of all, there are a lot of places you might want to try something like that. South Korea ain't one of them. I mean, I just don't think that's one of the places you want to try and sneak in somewhere. But the other thing is, it's amazing that Kevin Hart can't sneak onto the stage at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But somebody can sneak into the Olympics when you would think that's the most heavily guarded place in the world outside of Fort Knox.
Do you watch any of these events? You can.
Yeah, I watch some of them because, we all, just like everybody else, I'll pretend when they lose, they should have hit the brakes or whatever. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think it'll be kind of fun to watch all of them. I like the Winter Olympics maybe more than the Summer Olympics.
Do you really?
Because I think as Americans, we're too cocky about the Summer Olympics. We think we should win every one of them all the time.
Yeah.
In the Winter Olympics, I feel like it's a little. okay, we got to put forth a little more effort. In basketball, for instance, I mean, we sort of feel like we roll it out there, and that's cost us in the past. But the Winter Olympics is something I don't get to see all the time. So I enjoy the Winter Olympics maybe a little more.
Bounce it around a little bit.
Okay.
Cavs.
Ooh.
Trade off everybody. Does it matter? Am I not one of the many fans that are out there that are watching the NBA, and I'm not saying that I'm a big fan, but I do watch from time to time, that goes, it's kind of boring. They can do whatever they choose. Golden State's going to win. They're going to win by sweep in the finals unless they play poorly in a game or two. Do you not get that feel?
I do get that feel, but I like that. Again, I go back to Golden State is now the one with a target.
Yeah.
I like having a team with a target on its back. Everybody's chasing Golden State. You want to win it.
But what if the target is USA Basketball?
Yeah, I know, and it is. And there was also a rumor about LeBron James maybe going there in free agency. And look, I'd be all for it. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a Harlem Globetrotter NBA. But I don't like a bunch of mediocre teams vying for number one. I like having some good teams. But look, I think if the Celtics get healthy, if they're playing well, I think they have a very good coach, and I think that they can make a run. I think they can at least make it competitive.
Okay.
I think that if this is the shame of it all. I think that it would be. This is a case for let's forget about East and West. Let's just make the playoffs. Let's still have 16 teams, but let's just seed them however they are. And that way you could end up with a Houston Golden State finals instead of a Western Conference finals. You want to talk about fun. Now, I don't know if Houston could beat them, but it'll be 138 to 135 every game. And I think that would be a lot of fun to watch. Instead, you may get the Cavs. I mean, very well may get the Cavs because LeBron James may do his thing in the playoffs, and then they'll get beat 4-1.
I'm going to bounce it here because we got about a minute left. I'm looking at the preseason SEC baseball rankings, and I know that you're not going to add much to this, but you'll know where I'm going with it when we go to break. Auburn and Alabama still sitting there in the preseason rankings dead last in the SEC West. And you can spin that to, well, it's to be understood. The SEC West, the greatest division in the SEC. But, I think about SEC West football. We don't consistently look down there in the bottom of the conference and see us sitting there.
Yeah.
And if we did, we'd have a major problem with it. So, and people say the same thing about SEC West football. Best conference and best division in the best conference in the country. So I think Butch Thompson's got an opportunity, and hopefully Alabama the same, but we have seen this storyline way too much over the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of excitement around Auburn's team specifically. I don't really know about Alabama's team, honestly, and I'm not going to get my hopes up. But I have seen a lot of people be excited about Auburn's team and what Butch Thompson's done. They brought in a good class. So we'll see what happens. Auburn does better when the people pick them.
Well, but we haven't over the last 20 years. I mean, let's be brutally honest. Over the last 20 years since Hal Baird left the program, Auburn has 3 winning seasons in SEC play.
Yeah.
And I bring that up and we're enjoying basketball right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Alabama's not great, but they're good. They should be.
I'm looking forward to tonight's game.
They should be a tournament team. We're thrilled. Auburn fans are like giddy about basketball because we got something to talk about.
How geeked are y'all going to be Wednesday night?
Well, it's going to be beautiful.
Are you going?
I won't, but because I'm like you, kids. You do what you do, and but we're excited. It's fun. I would love to have that for baseball, but it's been far too long since we have. More of the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown.
Why buy your next car from Lynch Nissan of Auburn?
Needing extra space at your house? Check out Easy Storage Units on Tallapoosa Street, 1 mile from downtown Alex City. With state-of-the-art 24-hour surveillance, you can rest easy knowing all of your possessions will be safe and secure. Easy Storage has any size unit you need, from 5x10s up to 10x20s. Call Easy Storage today at 256-794-8223 to rent your unit today. That's Easy Storage, 256-794-8223.
When you're born, you're really young. You're like 0 years old. My grandma tells me to quit growing up so fast. But what can I do about it? My mom keeps throwing me birthday parties.
Russell Medical, comprehensive care in your corner of the world.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
Five more minutes left here in today's program. I want to thank all of you for tuning in again to the Saturday Sports Countdown. We can't thank all of our great sponsors out there enough. Our corporate sponsors here on the Saturday Sports Countdown, JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air out of Dayville. Both great corporate partners that have been part of our program for well over 10 years. Kevin Keel does tremendous things there. You can trust him at Sunshine Heating and Air to take care of you. And JR Sports Bar and Grill, if you're out and about for the Elite Series event, or if you're coming into town as we move on into the spring and summer months, we have a lot of them come up to us and say, well, where's JR's? I've been watching your programs for a lot of years, and I want to go check out JR's. You won't be disappointed, so stop by there and see our friends at JR Sports Bar and Grill. We're not going to go back in to finalize this show talking fishing, are we?
I mean, I was hoping we weren't, but I guess if you're going to throw it at me, I'll see what I reel in.
No, we're not going to do it, but we do want to say that we hope a lot of you end up at Wind Creek State Park watching the weigh-in this afternoon. 2:30 this afternoon will be the weigh-in, or at least the start of the weigh-in, and follow that and be supportive of that. We have closed out recruiting for the season. Your final thoughts on early signing period matched up with late signing period. Do you like it? Do you dislike it?
Nope. If you're going to have an early signing period, I say have it in August. Be done with it.
Okay.
Why have it just a few weeks before the other one? Because it takes away from, first of all, the coaches that are preparing for bowl games, specifically the college football playoffs, they've got to be still focused on recruiting. Give them a little time off, man. Give them a break. Make it in August, or just keep it to February. You know, some of the luster was taken off February, the first Wednesday in February, and to me, that's like Christmas too, Electric Boogaloo. So I say keep it that way.
Do you think that part of this is around early enrollees, though, or can those guys still go ahead and do it?
So what does it matter? That changes nothing.
Good point. So I wonder how the coaches ended up with that, Luke.
I think most coaches weren't really high on it, because I do think they realized, oh my God, this made everything, we have to work a lot harder now. And they're already worked to death. Now, they all make a bunch of money, but they are pretty much coaching. If there's a coach out there listening, they'll tell you, they earn whatever they make. They're gone from their families a lot. They've got to keep up with their own family lives, their own family finances, their own family business. Meanwhile, they've got to act like can you imagine being a coach and like you have to remember everybody that's ever played for you? Because when they come up to you and go, hey coach, how you doing? And you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know who this guy is. But they all expect you to remember them.
Let's finish up Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Great, wasn't it?
It was good. I enjoyed it a lot. And hey, look, happy for Philadelphia. But you know, I will say this, and I don't mean to get political out here real quickly, but I thought it was kind of weird that everybody just looks at Philadelphia the way that they took to the streets. We should have treated them the same way we treat other people that go in the streets for political reasons. I don't like it when people just get out there and turn over cars for burned couches or climb fences and everybody gets hurt and punching horses and I mean, why do we let that go on because you won a Super Bowl?
I don't know why we let it go on, period. You know, I can understand protesting. I can understand a lot of things, and many times it's needed.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reasons that those have gone on here in the last few years have been things that people should protest for. But to run up in a convenience store, to run up in a store and just completely tear it apart for no reason at all. I mean, what in the world has that done? Can you imagine you being a business owner living in a community that has neighbors of yours coming in to ransack your place of business just because they're protesting? You're protesting. You're hurting people that are there with you.
And there's no rhyme or reason for it other than your team won a football game that you had nothing to do with.
It's odd. So look, we appreciate all of you tuning in today. Again, thanks for tuning in each and every Saturday from 7 to 9. For Michael Forehand back there producing, Luke Robinson here beside us, thanks for tuning in to the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Even the best of us forget sometimes. But buckling up is one thing you always want to remember.
Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Lake Area Realty is Lake Martin's Century 21 real estate company that proudly serves all the Lake Martin area. Rhonda Gaskin and her staff of caring professional realtors offers full sales for buyers and sellers in the area and can even help you with finding rentals or managing your current property. Whether it's your dream lake home, waterfront property, area family home in town, or just a starter home, Lake Area Realty can handle it all and advise you on all your needs. Buying and selling real estate is important to the professionals at Century 21. Lake Area Realty are your friends in real estate. Call or visit lakearearealty.net.
If you knew that underage drinking starts at younger ages than ever before, even in elementary school, you would talk to your kids about drinking right now, wouldn't you? If you knew that kids who drink are more likely to be involved in violence, school failure, or injury, you'd do what you could to prevent it, right?
Alcohol is a drug, and we need you to help us understand that before it's too late. Choose to refuse to lose your team to the dangers of underage drinking.
Homeowners all over Alabama have discovered that when you need your flooring clean, whether it's carpet, upholstery, or any manner of hard surfaces, there's no clean like Peaches and Clean. Serving Auburn, the Chattahoochee Valley, Montgomery, Birmingham, and the Lake Martin area. Call 866-837-6937. 866-837-6937. Or visit peachesandclean.com. Caring for your floor and a whole lot more.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Trane dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
What's different about Hyundai of Auburn? Beautiful cars built here from parts made here. That's jobs and tax money.
And right now, Max, record low finance plans. 0% interest and $42.50 cash to spend with no budget busting repairs for a full 10 years. Drive a new Hyundai today. Check it out, HyundaiofAuburn.com.
And my Max Markdown deals. Tell them Max sent you. I might get a bonus.
Max, you're not real.
What?